So if y'all bitches want to step to the best, you're looking at them, boys.
Oh, for what? A laugh? To make me look like a fool? Oh, God.
What is up, Vitches? Welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. I'm going to be your heavily tattooed host with the most, the Cholo. Before we get into the video, before we do anything, you guys are all aware of the spiel, the whole thing, the whole shameless self-plug that I have to do, the hey guys, don't forget to get loked up with our channel memberships. I know, dude. I know. Ladies and gentlemen, dudes of all teenagers, we are going to be getting into our 158th episode of The Goblin at Lloyd Street. Today's video is being brought to us by Cyraxx Nation Archive. Go check out that channel, give them a like and subscribe. And with that, we're going to get into the Cyraxx interview with SkullKid from November 2020. This is, it's all audio. There's just a random video playing. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump on into it. We're set at 125 speed. Let's get it. Here we go.
Oh, is my audio connected? My head connected? Hey, Chance, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, brother. What's up, man? How you doing?
I've been better. I'm recovering from cellulitis on my foot. It sucks.
Oh, shit. Don't feel bad, dude. I'm going through a bit of a rough time myself, dude. I just found out today through one of my close friends that one of my exes I had dated back in high school just passed away, like, a little under a month ago from health problems, and I was like, what? Like, how did I not know about this?
Jesus.
So I get it. Yeah, like...
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Were you guys still close?
Oh, dude, absolutely. Like, even though we had split, you know, we were still, you know, very good friends. We were still super tight with each other. Like, getting that kind of news, man, especially in front of your own girlfriend, man, that was tough.
That sucks, man. So I got this, all these like little interview things. I got some questions from the Discord. I tried to keep them as tame as possible.
Oh, absolutely, dude. It's like, dude, you would not be like, bro, like, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. Like, half the shit I get asked, I'm just like, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So I figured the best part to start would be, what makes Cyraxx different from Chance?
Ooh, that's actually, dude, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'd say, like, what differentiates me from my, you know, one of my stage, from obviously my main stage persona that everybody knows me as, is the fact that outside of YouTube, I'm more, you know, relaxed. I'm more, you know, laid back. I take everything in, and I just kind of, you know, try to take, you know, each day a day at a time. And whereas for my stage side, like, that side of me is like the wilding out, crazy, you know, doesn't give no fucks, you know, will basically say anything to anyone if, you know, push and shit like that. So, like, that's definitely a real good question. And like I said, you know, that side of me is definitely, you know, the crazier side, the more, you know, not so much outgoing side, but the more, you know, hey, you fuck with me, I'll fuck with you right back. I don't give a fuck.
So that leads into the next question, actually, is so do you put on a persona for your...
You fuck with me, I'll fuck with you right back. I don't give a fug. Cool, Chance. Sounds like you're 13. You're such a little wiener, dude. You are such a wiener.
Shows and YouTube and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I figured that, you know, because it's like, you know, you're you have like this like dark and like all these different types of characters, or for lack of a better word, that you play.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, like you said, you know, that side of me is definitely, you know, my more wild and out side, and, you know, the more outlandish side.
So it's like an artistic choice.
Exactly. And then obviously with my original name, that was actually a nickname from back in high school, which was the Shadowblade name. That's more or less, you know, like my darker side, my more, you know, I want to get inside your head and, you know, fuck with you any way that I can.
That actually leads into a question I had planned for later, but we can tackle it now. Who is the Demon King Shadowblade, if you had to describe him?
No. For me, like I said, the origins of, you know, my original persona was actually a nickname given to me back in high school by one of my good friends that unfortunately passed in 2009 from a drowning accident.
That wasn't Zach. That wasn't a Zach, right?
No, that was the one before him. That was mine and Zach's best friend David.
Okay. I don't know much about like the early like years.
Yeah, exactly. Not many people do. Like, there's a few that do, but not too many.
I tend to think
we do. We've been watching a long time. Yes, sir.
Less like stuff you put out publicly on the internet is better because people can get a hold of it and do all types of things with it.
Right, exactly.
So
Like I
what was
said,
the nickname referring to?
and that's what's weird. I didn't really understand it myself at first until he sat down and explained it to me. Like I was sitting down this one day talking to him. I was like, "Yo, like, why'd you give me that nickname? Like, what's up with that? Like, you could have chosen any nickname in the world. Why that?" And at the time, I had just started getting into music. I had just discovered how to, create instrumentals. And at that time, I was creating these really just dark, weird, eerie instrumentals. And he was like, like your sound is, obviously a dark sound.
Mm.
Kind of like something you would hear coming out of the shadows, but they're also super sharp. They're fine tuned, kind of like, swords. So, hence, Shadow Blade. And I was like,
it was dark, you go shadow, and it was sharp though, like a blade. You go shadow, but
Shut the fuck. You pissed me off, Chance. God. I didn't know this was gonna be a rage watch or a rage listen, I guess. That'll be a first for this channel. We've never done a rage listen before, so let's rage listen.
that actually makes sense.
Yeah. That actually leads me into the next question is, take us through the early years before you were making music, like your childhood, before you got into that.
Man. Well, let's see. Obviously, when I was a kid, I grew up a military brat. My dad was in the army. We had moved around base to
Your dad's a rapist.
base most of my life and whatnot until I was like 12.
I don't want to interrupt you, but what division?
United States Army, 2nd Airborne Division. Staff Sergeant.
Cool. My dad, I don't know what his exact division was, but he was a medic in the Army.
Oh, nice. That's what's up.
Yeah. Anyway, continue on.
Yeah, definitely thanks to your dad, dude, for sure.
Well, thanks to your dad too, man,
Yeah, absolutely. Small world, huh, man?
Yeah. Anyway, continue on. You were saying...
Small world, huh, man? Anything that he can do to try to leech out a little connection with someone so that he can make a us versus them, a you and me, that we're on a team, we're together. So that way later when he has to argue with someone and bitch and complain, he can say, yeah, well, me and my homie, da-da-da-da-da, we'll do this or da-da-da-da-da. That's all this is. It's just, hey, come on, be on my side, be on my team. Let's be together. Come on, we can be homies. That's all that is. It's stupid. It's stupid.
like yes, so
you move from place to place.
Like I said, I had, moved around,
Look at that
from base
footage
to
in the background.
base. And then, when I was little, my parents had gotten a divorce. My dad wound up moving to Florida. Me and my mom wound up staying in Washington State where I was raised till I was like fucking, I want to say like 13, 14 at the time. And then we had decided to, to pick up and move down to Florida and
What is he
whatnot.
doing?
And, obviously I got to be around my dad a little bit here and there because I would go over to his house every other weekend. And then shortly after that, Hurricane, I don't know if you remember Hurricane Charlie and all those ones back in 2004.
Yeah, I think I vaguely...
I don't know if you guys are watching that fight footage in the background. It's got my attention. But I don't know why he does this, and then he throws his arms down to throw. What are you doing, stupid? Like the way you... It's so stupid. It's so dumb. This, dog, turn those monies out so you can catch kicks and flutter stuff away. Like what is... Turn them out. That would... I don't know.
I remember the other one that happened in like 2009 or whatever, or something around then, because I was right out of high school and it was like really bad. But I don't know if I remember that one. I'm sure if I looked it up.
Yeah, like Hurricane Charlie's, that was around the time we were down in Florida. Hurricane Charlie had hit, and we had actually wound up living up in Baltimore, Maryland for a while to get away from the hurricanes after Charlie hit. We were like, fuck this. We want to get out of here and get away from all these other ones before it gets worse. So me, my mom, and my brother, we all packed up and went up to Maryland, stayed up there for a while. We came back down after all the hurricanes that happened.
We came down after the hurricanes happened.
And we were initially supposed to go back to my hometown in Washington State out in Seattle. We were supposed to go back out there. But as we were going up, we had gotten word from my older sister that my nephew Troy was being born.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, why don't we make a stop in Ohio? Like, that'd be cool, and catch up with everybody again and whatnot and see the family and whatnot. And we wound up doing that. And, after he was born, we just kind of decided, like, we just kind of ultimately planted root here, and we've been here in Ohio ever since.
Yeah.
And And then, you know, I obviously got into high school and whatnot. And before I even touched music, I was drawing all the time. Like, I was that kid in class, like, you know, that kid in class that would like always draw on the back of their classwork and shit when they're bored.
Oh, dude, that was me all the time.
That was that kid.
And I suck at drawing.
Dude, my teachers would get so pissed, but they would be like in such shock. They'd be like, dude, like, this is actually really good, but why the fuck are you drawing on the back of your classwork? Like, this is actually good, but why are you doing this? It's like,
yeah.
Oh, everybody else is doing their work. I got nothing else to do, so why the fuck not?
Yeah. So going from that, this is one that I was personally interested in. What
Can you imagine saying this to someone that's interviewing you and thinking that they're going to believe it? You're so stupid, Chance. You're so stupid.
These actually two. What is your favorite project you've made musically?
Ooh, that's actually a real tough one, dude.
Oh, darkness, my friend. It sucks to be with you again. That one. That's the best one.
Shit, because I've done a lot of really good ones.
No, you
But
haven't.
for me personally, I would have to say more or less, like, definitely, obviously, one of them would definitely be, you know, my 2 albums that I dropped back in 2018, which are still, you know, widely considered as, you know, one of my personal favorites.
Is that the dubstep one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Knockout and Evolution. Like, those two are definitely 2 of my favorites for sure. Those will always be, because those are, like, you know, 2 of the ones that I really took a lot of time on. But as far as, like, my regular stuff goes, I would have to say more or less, you know, my more, you know, personalized stuff, like the stuff that actually talks about my life and, you know, what I've gone through, like Hidden in Your Lies, you know, Another Day Is Over, like stuff like that, because those actually touch on, you know, real events and real stuff that I had, you know, gone through, through certain periods in my life where, you know, I was in bad situations. I had, you know, been, you know, bullied a lot in high school. I had, you know, as you know already, as a lot of people know,
Dog, you were a grapist in high school. Good. I'm glad you were 22 years old in high school. I'm glad you got bullied. Jesus Christ.
I've been, you know, in really dark places in my life, and those songs kind of remind me, you know, to, you know, like, you know, to keep.
Do you guys hear a bong in the background?
Keep your head up, like, you know, there's always, you know, better things to come. So like those songs more or less are kind of like an anthem of my life in a sense.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry. The second half of this question is, what is your least favorite project you've ever done? Like something you look back on and they're like, I don't know why I did that. 'Cause everyone has one.
Honestly, I can honestly say, dude, I would have to say my album Between the Lines is probably my least favorite project that I've done, because that's when I was just starting out in hip hop. I just started to, you know, get into rap, and I was that young kid that, you know, thought he knew what he was doing, was, you know, going all over the place. And for what it wasn't bad. But listening back now, I'm just like, dude, I could have done that so much better.
Oh, dude, we all have one. Now we have a question from Discord. This is coming from Mandy. She says, where were you on 9/11?
I was in, but like I was in school when it had happened, when the Twin Towers had hit, and I was in, I was going to school at Roosevelt Academy with my childhood best friends, Rachel and Marcus, who ironically are actually engaged, which is pretty funny. Like I was in school with them in class at the time when we had heard that the Twin Towers had gotten hit, and like that right there. And at the time, I didn't really understand, you know, what was going on. Like I knew like it was a major event, but I didn't understand what.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely traumatic. I didn't even get told what happened until like hours after it happened. I was like a little kid.
Yeah, exactly. And back then, I was like, oh shit, like, you know, a major event's happening. What's going on? And then later on, like 4 years after, when I was in, you know, just going into like towards like the end of middle school, towards like, you know, junior high and high school, like that's when I like really realized like, oh shit, like this is actually a real thing. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Here's one that I had.
It took you that long to realize it? Chance, most people understand it like, I get when you're a little kid, you may not really understand the gravity of what an attack is on your country, but I was in, I believe, 7th grade when it happened, and I fully understood. I really got what was happening. Like, we understood. We weren't stupid. We got it. We knew shit was getting serious things were about to really pop the fuck off, and we were scared. That's what it was like when your country comes under fire like that, and you're a little kid. When you're 12, 13, whatever years old, like that's what happens. It's scary.
You mentioned your brother a lot. How much has he impacted your development as an artist?
Oh, dude, honestly, in almost every sense, because not only did I pick, because my older brother, like, he loved to read a lot, and it was through him that I really got into reading a lot. I started to write a lot, and I had started to notice, like, as I was writing, like as I was getting older and writing, I had started writing poems, and like later on down the road, I started to realize, like, holy shit,
100% lie. No, he did. He's illiterate, dude. He doesn't know how to read or write. I mean, come on.
Like, these aren't just poems. These are like legit, thoughts and stuff. Not only coming out of my head, but these are legitimate incidences that happened in my life. And I initially started to think, like, what can I do? Like, should I have these published? Should I go through a publisher? And at the time, that was very hard to do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because there was no, self-publishing at the time. There was no, companies that were looking for, poetry of that style. So I was like, like, what can I do? And I initially, shut off the idea of, what to do with it. And I had, just stuck to my artwork and shit like that. And then it was around like 2000, it was like early 2009 that I had shown, my, one of my friends, friends David, who, like I had mentioned earlier, had passed in 2009 from a drowning accident. It was like earlier that year. It was in like February or March of that year that I had showed him some of my poetry work and the stuff I had written down. And he's like, dude, like, these could actually be songs. Like, if you structured this right, like, these could definitely, be songs. And ultimately, they had started to take on that form. And as, you've seen and a lot of people have seen, those songs, kind of came to life once I started, finding that sound that suits me, that suits my style, and really what I'm about. So, definitely my brother has made a major impact in, pretty much everything that, I've done music-wise, writing. It's definitely a huge reason as to why I'm still in the fucking books.
Yeah. So the next question I got is, what is a daily routine?
Like that kid Matan says, name 5 books. Do that, Cyraxx, you fucking liar.
For Cyraxx.
Oh, that's a good one. That's one I actually get asked a lot. That was actually not that uncommon of a question, but it's still kind of funny. Like, as like before me and my girlfriend got together, it was usually, I'd wake up, hop on YouTube, see if, any of my favorite YouTubers like Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, Slap Train, or different people that I watch, had uploaded anything. And like, if I'm doing something or whatever, like, I'll throw them on, take a shower, do whatever. Then, I would get out. I would record like a quick thing in the morning if I had something that I wanted to record or put up. I would do that. Then I would eat breakfast, and then from there, it would just, vary. Like, if I wanted to do like a live stream or whatever, or if I wanted to upload something or, make a music video or something, like, it definitely, varied day to day. As of right now, it's definitely, it's somewhat the same still. As of right now, it's definitely, wake up probably around like 1 or 2 in the afternoon with this COVID shit going on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm waking up at like noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is around the time that my girl gets up, because like 1 o'clock for me would be like 12 o'clock her time. So like, she's usually up around that time. So like,
what a lazy turd, dude. Noon, 1 o'clock? Because COVID? What? You're so full of shit, Chance. Come on. Are you, because of COVID, all of a sudden, I'm up early no matter what. I just am. It's what it is. There was a time in my life I'd be up at 3:30 every morning, get up, work out, do my thing, go about my day. I don't get up that early anymore. Usually it's about 6:30 or so is when I get up. Noon? 1 o'clock though? Unless you like work graveyard shift, there's no reason to be just waking up at 1 p.m.
I'll get a hold of her and we'll talk, eat breakfast together and whatnot. And, from there I'll just, work on my artwork, hang out with her, hang out with family and whatnot. So that's pretty much my daily routine as of right now.
All right. So the next one is, what's your opinion about where you live and the people who live around you?
Oh, that's actually a good one. Honestly, dude, like, I gotta admit, most people would say that they hate the people that they're around. But honestly, I genuinely like a lot of people around me because when we moved in here into this house back in 2010, yeah, it was about 2010 that we moved into this house. And like back then, you know, I was the new guy on the block. Everybody was kind of like, you know, whatever. But over the years, like I've become, you know, really close with some of our neighbors that, you know, I'm still.
Oh, bullshit, dude. Come on. Shut up. None of those neighbors like you. Every single one of them hates you, Chance. They know what you are. Stupid.
Still very close with like our neighbor Miss Jackie right next door, who's literally like, she's this really cool old black lady, but she's literally like family, like for fucking sure.
And yet you drop the N word with the hard R all the time. Anytime somebody upsets you, that's what you jump to. And you said she's like family? Next door, like That's how you treat family, right, Chance? That's how you treat family.
Like,
I do not have the time, nor do I have the energy to hate someone for the color of their skin because of the person that they sleep with, their sexuality, what. I don't have the. No. That's stupid. It's ignorant. It's a waste of time and energy. No. But Chance, because of what he is, the things he does, putting his hands on women, erections over children. Yeah, I got time to hate for that. Yeah, I got time and I got energy to hate that. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yes, we do, baby. Yes, we do. I got time today. It just, I cannot, oh, dude. Hating someone because of the color of their skin is so stupid. It is so stupid. Irritates me. And then he said, she's this old black lady and she's like family. Shh. I have a special place in my heart filled with hatred, especially for racists. Just for them. Just for them.
Something's going on, you know, she's right there like, hey, what's up, what's good? So, like, I can definitely say, you know, I've definitely, you know, grown to like a lot of the people around me and stuff. Like, there's not too much bad shit like there was back then, but it is more or less tame and quiet now than it was back then, for sure.
Yeah. So I have another one from Discord. This is from Cable, and I know Cable, so she's not trolling when she asks this. I think she's just curious. She asks, were you in a special needs class in school? No disrespect. I'm just curious.
I actually was. When I was in high school, they had this thing where I was in special needs classes, but they made it like it was normal. Like, it looked like, you know, your normal average run-of-the-mill high school class, but like...
That's because you guys know why.
It was like a special needs kind of thing, and I didn't realize it till like my freaking 12th grade year, and I'm sitting there like, dude, why do I need to be in here? Like, obviously I'm good enough to be out there, and I just proved it. So like, why y'all got me in here? So yeah, I've definitely, you know, I've taken special needs classes pretty much most of my life, honestly.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not a stranger to that. Like, I love it when people ask that, because, you know, that gives them an inside look at, you know, what I'm about and how I came up. So
I think people are I'm sorry. I think people unfairly like have a view of people who go to special needs class. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, you know, I grew up with special needs kids most of my life, so I totally get it.
Dog, you were the special needs kid.
Speaking of school, how was school for you, and what did you excel at?
Nothing.
Oh man, for me, school it was kind of weird. You know, like I said, my first few years growing up, I'd bounced around from military base to military base, so that part of it was definitely rough. But you know, once I got through, you know, middle school and high school, like, it kind of started to ease out. But then, you know, with high school came, you know, the freshman hazing shit, you know, the typical run-of-the-mill stuff with that. And then, you know, as the years went on, you know, some of the bullying still did continue, and at some points it did get really bad. But for the most part, you know, it was more or less, you know, it was good. Like, you know, I had, you know, my friends there. I had, ironically, a couple of my cousins that had gone to high school with me. So, like, it was awkward at times, but it was definitely, you know.
Were they in their 20s as well?
It was cool.
Yeah. So the next one I had is, you had a brief foray into film with, I think it was The Darkness. Who was your favorite director?
Oh, man, definitely, you know, guys like Tim Burton, Steven Spielberg. I'm trying to think. The one director that does the fucking Conjuring films.
James Wan.
Yeah. Him. Guys like the one that did the Annabelle series.
Well, I think that's also James Wan in the beginning. Yeah, but I think they passed it off to other people.
Yeah. Guys like them. A lot of people don't know this, but guys like Hayao Miyazaki and you know, Studio Ghibli, stuff like that. Like different directors like that have definitely, you know, played a huge impact, you know, on, you know, everything I do, from, you know, film work to, you know, my artwork, the manga that I'm currently working on, which you actually got to see a preview of.
Yeah. It's coming along. Like I said, it's not particularly my style. I'm more for like a sketched kind of really detailed thing, but you know, everyone has their own tastes.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Like I said, I'm in the same boat with you on that. Like, you know, slice of life normally isn't my thing. And I'm more or less in the same boat that you are when it comes to anime. But at the same time, I kind of wanted to bring, you know, that real life aspect that nobody really brings into any of that anymore. I kind of wanted to bring that back and be like, hey, you know, this is what you guys are missing out on here. Like, this is like real life shit that goes on. Like, bring that stuff back, because that's what pulled us into this in the first place.
Definitely. Where do you sit politically on the political spectrum?
Oh man, for me, honestly,
I wonder if he can spell political spectrum. I got $20 says he can't.
like I'm definitely on, you know, I can't say that I'm on either side, but at the same time, you know, I kind of try to see, you know, both, you know, points of views. Like with the whole Trump and Biden thing, yeah, Trump's got some really good points, but at the same time, Biden's got some good points as well. So it's definitely tough. It's definitely
Really, Chance, that's what we're going with. Side A has good points and side B has good points. So I don't know. Dog, think about it. Think about the things they say. Think about their policies. Like, never mind. You'll never understand politics. I don't understand politics, so I know for sure you don't understand politics. And with that, we're right about the halfway point of this video, so you guys know what that means. Get them out, get them warm. What am I going to say next? I'm going to say, baby, let's get ripping. Y'all know what it is. Boop, boop. Here we go. That, my friends, is a that is a Lime Walker hybrid. Lemon lime crossed with lemon walker. That was a good ripper. I didn't say we're done. I'd say put the pins down. No, I did not. Fire them back up. You guys know what it is. Let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's get back to our video.
an on the fence kind of thing for me.
You probably fall into like a centrist point of view then.
Yeah, pretty much. Like for me, it's like, hey, whatever happens. Like I'm not in control of that. Like unless it affects my everyday life, why should I worry about it? You know?
Yeah. So I don't know what this next question means. It comes from Discord, but it's from Kleptoast, asking, "Have you considered trying to partner with IP2?" I have no idea what that means.
Okay, IP2 basically is one of the major players in like a lot of the cyberbullying and shit like that. I've had a few run-ins with them, and the first run-in really wasn't that bad. They were genuinely cool people. Like, not all of them are bad, but you know, there are the few in there that do claim IP2 that are, you know, definitely sketchy. But honestly, I've considered it, and I've, you know, definitely looked at it, and honestly, like, no offense to IP2 at all whatsoever. You know, I fucked with a lot of you guys. Some of you guys are actually really cool, but honestly, like, it's just not for me.
Okay. These next couple questions are going to get a...
Chance, I don't think it's an option for you, stupid. Degenerates as they may be, I don't think anybody wants you as part... From any streaming crew, dude, I don't think anybody wants you as a part of their team, Chance.
A little, like, personal. I'm just going to give you a heads up. So my first question is, what is your biggest regret in life?
Ooh, my
biggest regret in life is that Chance was born.
Regret in life? Oh, man, that's definitely a tough one, because I've definitely done a lot of crazy shit when I was younger, to say the least. But then, you know, we've all done crazy shit when we were kids.
Oh yeah.
My biggest regret, honestly, I could say is, you know, not listening to those around me that I should have listened to in the very beginning when I started this whole thing. Because, you know, back then I was young, I was a kid, you know, I thought I knew everything, you know, I thought I was, you know, a boss and this and that. And then, you know, over the years, I started to learn, like, oh, shit, like, there's a lot more to this than just, you know, uploading and sitting back and letting the stuff come in. Like, you got to, you know, do something and stand out. So yeah. I do regret not taking the advice of those that, you know, did try to help me, like, for sure.
The next one is, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would you change?
The fact that you were born.
Oh, I would I know this is gonna kind of shock everybody because a lot of people would not expect this, but I would have to say definitely the way that I go off on people. Like, I would definitely change, how, I approach, certain situations, like with the whole, Marty saga bullshit. Like, I definitely would have approached that differently had I known what was going on. So I would definitely, change, the fact that, I do have a bit of a hot head.
Yeah.
You can change that. You can actively make yourself better by not being such an asshole, by learning how to control your temper, get your emotions in check, Chance. It takes some emotional maturity. That's what it takes. It's like, no, you never will get any, but you're just always going to be who you are.
I often think that we're defined more by the tragedies that befall us rather than the good times. But tragedy has shaped you in some degree.
Oh, I would definitely say the major one that definitely has, the two that definitely has, shaped me is, obviously the loss of, my best friend Zach back in 2015, which was actually the same year that I had lost my brother earlier that year. So, like,
rough.
definitely, it was, dude. Like, I had lost my brother in February of that year, and then in December of that year, I had lost, Zach to, that shooting and whatnot. So, like, 2015 was definitely a very rough year for me, to say the least. Like, that was definitely one of my roughest years. Definitely that, and, I can honestly say the loss of, honestly, several people, such as, Chester Bennington, Chris Cornell, Van Halen. Like, those definitely, showed me quite a bit, honestly. Like, the passing of, my brother and my friend in 2015, like, those definitely showed me that, like, you definitely gotta, take each day at a time, and you can't, dwell on the past, because if you do, you're just going to end up making the same mistakes over and over and over, and it's just going to be an endless cycle. And then with Chester and his loss, which, as a lot of people know, I grew up listening to Linkin Park in high school, and that's kind of how I got into the band, was through, their earlier stuff. And, like, that definitely, his, obviously the whole world suffered a loss.
I don't mean to sit here and let so much of this play. Like, I know it's getting like 2 and 3 minutes between me talking, but I find it fascinating to when the trolls, or when not the trolls, but when the cows, when they're not pissed off, when they're not yelling and screaming, when he's just talking, when you just give Chance a second to just speak, let him speak his mind and listen. It's fucking crazy. Just listen to the way he sees himself, what he thinks is possible for what he thinks he's capable of doing, with zero musical talent in any way, shape, or form. He's talking about like having a career in music, or as a social media creator, as being an entertainer, essentially. The only thing that's entertaining is watching your life fall apart, Chance. Nothing you do is entertaining. But again, that's not the way he sees himself. And it's fascinating to watch this dude. It's fascinating.
That day. But, like, that kind of, like, his passing kind of showed me, like...
Or not to watch it, but to listen. You know what I mean?
Like, tomorrow isn't guaranteed. Like, there's only today. So, like, you definitely gotta, do what you can to help people. And, if they are going through those tough times, you gotta reassure them and show them, hey, like, you're not alone in this. There are people out there that go through, what he went through. You just gotta be willing to, take that stand and, like, actually reach out and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through.
Yeah. Next question comes from Dr. Yoshi from Discord. Who do you think killed Jeffrey Epstein?
I honestly don't know too much about that case, so I can't really say.
Well, I mean, he was taken into custody for pedophilia, and then he allegedly committed suicide, but it just seemed way too convenient, so many people think that a politician or someone who he had dirt on killed him. So that's where that question comes from. I'm sorry.
I'm not too familiar with that case, so... like, I can't really speak on that.
Yeah. You often have issues with your exes. Are there any that you're on good terms with?
I was definitely, obviously before her passing, a month ago, which I just found out today about, my ex Alexi, I'm still, I was on good terms with her and whatnot. Like, me and her were still, super tight. I want to say me and Megan are on somewhat good terms, but not really. Like, we don't really talk. Like, if we do, it's like, hey, how you doing? Whatever.
Yeah.
So there are a few exes, that I'm on good terms with. Like, not too many because of how they've done me wrong in the past. But there are a few that, I'm still, good friends with to this day that are, super cool. That like I'm looking back now, and and now that I am with, Caitlin, and the one that I actually want to spend the rest of my life with, like looking back now, I'm like, I'm glad me and this, other one over here, ended up good friends because now I'm actually with somebody that actually, is not about that bullshit.
1 second, I'm sorry, my alarm's going off.
Oh, you're good, man.
That actually leads quite well into the next question, which is, what is the ideal life for you in 20 years? Like your house, your location, your family. What do you think
that's definitely a good question. And like, I know a lot of people ask that, but for me, like, it's not your typical, oh, I want a mansion, this and that. Like, even if let's just say, for example, my artwork does take off, and I do start doing good with that.
See what I mean? Straight up delusional, dude. My art does take off. No, your scribbles, your crayon drawings, Chance, come on, dude. Come on. And he believes this. This is fact to him. This is an absolute reality. This is what's going to happen in his mind.
For me, it would just be, a simple house, for, me and her, and, and if God willing, we have kids or whatever, definitely, stuff like that. Just your typical, normal, average, everyday family, a nice little car, nothing, expensive, like something reliable that doesn't break every time you tap a freaking curb or some shit.
Yeah, definitely. So the next question.
Most people don't hit curbs all that often, Chant. They're not there to keep you on the road. What? Do you think people hit curbs they shouldn't. I get once in a while it may happen, back it into a weird spot, maybe, but in general, you shouldn't be banging into curbs.
No, I have is what's going on with the engagement in the wedding? Is there a ring, and how will you provide for her, and will you stream the wedding? Asks Earjuice.
Ooh, that's a good one. As far as streaming the wedding goes, we are working on a way to do that. My brother Sean is actually going to be the best man at the wedding. Shout out to my brother Sean, was good. But yeah, we are going to try to stream it. There is a ring that me and her looked at that, I do want to get for her. It's just with, COVID going on and, family being out of work and me not being able to do anything really much right now. It's definitely, but, there is definitely a ring involved. We're looking at either sometime in August of next year or August of the year after, depending on what goes on with this COVID shit. But there is, a month. We just got to figure out, like, what specific day that we want. But then everything's going good so far. Like, everything's in the works and, going good so far.
Okay. And how did the engagement happen, and how romantic were you?
Again, do you hear all of this? Genuinely thinks he's going to get married, live a long, healthy, happy life with another human being that's actually going to want to spend their life with him, build a family with him, let him impregnate them, have a bunch of little goblin kids running around. Kick those little motherfuckers down the stairs.
Believe it or not, a lot of people like don't see this side of me, but I'm literally like, I know this is crazy coming from shit that people have seen, but I actually am definitely, thanks to my mom raising me my whole life on her own, I'm definitely one of those hopeless romantic kind of guys. Mm-hmm. So it was definitely cool. Unfortunately, it had to be over FaceTime because
you get boners for kids. What are you talking about? A hopeless romantic? Suck my ass, Chance.
Obviously with the lockdown and everything. But it was definitely, around her family and stuff and whatnot. So it was definitely, very romantic and stuff. It was me, I think it was like her grandmother or her stepmom or whatever, her sister Paige. And,
grandmother or her stepmom? Two wildly different generations there, Chance. Yeah, clearly this is real and totally happened.
A few family members that were there and stuff and whatnot. And, like, me and her were sitting down, watching movies with her family. And it was just one of those things that just kind of happened. I was sitting there thinking about it, like, the whole time we were watching the movie, and, like, everybody got up to do stuff. And, like, literally they heard, like, right as soon as I said, I was like, hey, I got a question for you. And, like, literally everybody stopped dead what they were doing. It's kind of like they knew almost. It was weird. Like, they almost knew what was going to happen. And, like, I obviously, popped the question. She said yes. Her sister Paige was like straight up like, and I understand where she's coming from because that's her family. She flat out said, she's like, you heard her, I will put my foot up your ass. I was like, don't worry, that's not gonna happen.
Well, I'm sure she will because she does karate, eh?
Well, it's not necessarily karate. It's actually
I hate his stupid little goblin. I'll break your throat. I'll break it. Yep. I didn't. Nope. Not his neck. I'll break his throat. Yep. 100%. Yep. Facts.
Hidon, which is basically a Korean
With the fucking choke, guys. Don't be gross.
style swordsmanship, which is what Caitlyn does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You actually wound up getting to see her. Caitlyn, I actually got to see Caitlyn practice last week, which was actually a lot of fun. Like, I got to meet her Master Rose, which was super cool. Her Master Rose she's tough, but she's definitely very fun. Definitely, cool to be around and stuff. So it was definitely a lot of fun. It was definitely cool to see that.
Yeah. The next question is, what is best in life?
Oh, what is best in life? It depends on what angle you're coming at that from. But for me, like, what's best in life is just enjoying life and just kind of, taking every day, as it comes at you, because like I said earlier, tomorrow is never guaranteed for any of us. So you kind of take, each day, as it comes at you and try to make, the best out of it, whether you're having the worst day in the world or whatever.
The worst day in the world. Whatever.
Like, you definitely gotta, make the most of what you got with what you have around you.
What is your opinion on the Holocaust?
As far as, like, you're gonna have to be more specific on that one. Like,
well, there are a few amount of people who question the numbers, the number of Jews killed, and the validity of the records, considering there really were none. Some people even go as far as to say it didn't happen. I wouldn't say I'm particularly one of those people, but I do think the numbers have inflated over the years without any concrete evidence. Do you have any opinions on that?
I can honestly say that back then it was definitely very hard to tell because, there was so much going on with, Hitler doing what he did at the time. And a lot of people don't know this about Hitler, but he had actually had some sort of illness that would, like, make his hand shake a lot. And it was actually in a documentary. I forget what documentary it was, but he was dealing with that. On top of obviously doing the horrid things that he had done.
You know nothing about that war, do you? You know nothing about the atrocities that those people were put through. Do you are so fucking disrespectful the way you're speaking about it, about the fucking Holocaust, about people that they lost every fucking thing. They experienced horrors most people will never understand. The fuck is wrong with you? Show some respect. Whether you're Jewish or not, that shit's hard to think about. If you really understand what happened and what was done to children, women, it's bad enough that anybody be subjected to the things that they were subjected to, but they did this shit to women and children and the elderly. They gassed them, they beat them, they kicked them, they broke teeth out of their skulls, they made fathers grape their daughters and sons grape their mothers. They did that as a joke. Show some respect.
Done. And a lot of people don't know this, but David Draymond's grandparents, the lead vocalist of Disturbed, David Draymond, his grandparents were actually survivors of the Holocaust.
Yeah, it makes sense with his name, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, seeing that, I was like, holy shit. And, like, he did go into some detail, like, not a lot, but he did go into some detail of, like, what it was like for his grandparents, because he had, he grew up, hearing the stories and, seeing what they went through, through stuff that he was, told and shown by his family. So he definitely has a very good grasp on that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you clearly don't, Chance. Like I said, the horrors that happened. Birkenau, Auschwitz, Dachau. Imagine being taken from your home in the middle of the night and it's snowing outside. It's fucking freezing. You don't have time to get your shoes or socks. It's freezing. It's ice on the ground. You're going to walk in your bare feet for 150 miles and you're going to keep up with everybody else. If not, maybe they shoot your wife in the face. Maybe they take your daughter. And do what every father's afraid of. Just because you can't keep up. Because you're barefoot on ice and we have to go 150 miles. They did shit like that. I have spent a lot of time educating myself on major wars of the world, the atrocities of the Holocaust. It's like a real life horror movie for 4 straight years. To me, that's one of the scariest times in human history. Is to think about that is from 41 to 45. Right there at Auschwitz. What would it be like to be there? Because the sky looks the same. The world looks the same, except they were behind a fence and mass genocide was happening. Just thousands of people by the day. If you don't understand it, that's okay. That's fine. But you should be respectful. Millions of people died, were murdered. It's disgusting what happened. Dude, it's got me all in my emotions right now. It's got my heart pounding thinking about it right now. Trying not to let my voice shake. They ripped children from their mothers. I fucking hate you, Chance. I fucking hate you so much.
But for me, ultimately, you know, it's like, you know, like you said, the numbers have gone up and down a lot over the years. So it's definitely very hard to tell.
Yeah. The next thing I wanted to ask is, a lot of people see you use the word faggot a lot, and they take it as like a derogatory slur.
Yeah,
what is your opinion on homosexuality?
Honestly, I have no problem with it because like a lot of people don't realize this, but my older brother was gay, so like I'm used to it. I was raised around it. A lot of my friends are all spectrums of it. You know, I have friends that, you know. Yeah, dude, we're gonna cut this short.
Oh, you gotta wrap up, man. Oh, god damn it. Okay, well, I guess we had to cut this short. That was Cyraxx. I had some more questions, but I don't know what happened. He said he had to cut it short. I'm just gonna run through the rest of the questions that we didn't get to ask him, and if he comes back, I'll ask it and I'll edit this part out.
Let's hear what they are.
What is your favorite manga, and who is your favorite mangaka? What makes Music Biz Marty so detestable? Who is Jamie Nicole? Marty has said you gave your ex HIV. What's up with that? It's been mentioned before that you spent a night in jail. Some say for attacking your mother, others say for stealing a hefty sum of gold from a mine called Moria. What's the real story? Treemaster Bob asks, do you have a compulsive issue like Tourette's? He notices you seem to have a tic for scratching your head. What's his plan for Marty and the police? Does he see Jasmine as releasing porn, as revenge porn, as a federal crime? And finally, where does Cyraxx go from here? I want to thank Cyraxx for coming by, and yeah.
There we have it, guys. We did it. We got through it. That was a full interview with SkullKid. That's crazy. I just wrapped it up at the end, just had to bounce, but whatever. That's okay. At the end there, it's kind of pissing me off. It's just the disrespect, the way he spoke about the Holocaust. It's not a joke. It's serious, but regardless, guys, we did it. We got through it. We made it 100%. Well, it's the end of the video. You guys know what that means. To all my members out there, Thank you, Vitches. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you out there. Well, it's the end of the video, and you guys know what that means. Thank you to every single one of my members out there. I love and appreciate all you Vitches. Without you guys, the lights here at Low Dope Studios are most certainly getting shut off. I have a quick couple of shout outs. Go show some love, give a like and subscribe to my dudes, The Real Chance Wilkins and Steve's Creepy Van. Go show them some love, and let's get this video wrapped up. All the way around, top to bottom, left to right, front to back, inside out, we are done. Completed. It is through. And sometimes these are a mental battle. Sometimes they're funny. Sometimes they're filled with jokes. Sometimes they're infuriating. Sometimes they're all sorts of spectrums of emotions, what they bring out. This time wasn't too bad, but I'm definitely glad that you guys are out there. I'm definitely that we are out there doing this as a team, because teamwork makes that dream work, baby. If you are new here, thank you for checking out the channel and this video. I do appreciate you. If you are one of my OGs, it's very well known that I love and appreciate each and every single one of you Vitches out there. And real quick, before I go, my goodness, I know this is the part, I know. Back that direction at the beginning of the video when I do that whole shameless self-plug and I'm about to do it again. I'm about to do it again. You guys ready for it? You ready? Here we go. Here we go. Ready, ready, ready. Don't forget to get loked up with our channel memberships. I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, in the next video.